Hello, everyone here at the Infinite Wealth Forum. I'm so excited to be back. This is my, third time to speak in one of these forums, and each time it is extremely enjoyable and really empowering, both for me and for the people who are receiving this transmission. So today I'm going to be speaking on the energetics of manifestation. And my name is Kaya Slater. For those of you that don't know me, I have been in the industry of energetics, energy medicine, holistic health, wellness, coaching for 25 years now, almost 26 years. My business is called Inner Journey and began across the UK, Middle East, Dubai, and now Australia. And I work internationally, serving the community and serving women, especially in the realm of energetic mastery and soul guidance. This stems across the business realm. So I work with soulful entrepreneurs, coaches, and holistic health practitioners who are ready to really thrive and monetize their businesses. And I work with people of all walks of life who are ready to heal, transform, and shift their story, breaking old trauma patterns and shifting old paradigms and blocks that are really preventing them from stepping into their true power. I run workshops, trainings, and retreats worldwide and have published 4 books. And I spend my days really energized in the impression and in the true integral intention that my mission here is to facilitate as many people as I can to live the life of their dreams. And what it always comes down to is the energetics of a person. Being a master of energetics means I have been gifted with the skill to work with the energy in everything that we do. And I believe that if all human beings can do this, the world would be easier to navigate and life would be simpler because we are energy. We are energetic beings. We are energetic matter given form for this life, and all of the universal actions and everything that takes place in our daily lives relies on energy. And so the energetics of manifestation is the subject today, because I would like to demystify and also make attainable, and I don't like this word so much, but achievable manifestation to all of us. So I've had a few conversations this week with people who have reached out to me, especially seeing this talk coming up. Really interested in manifestation, Kaya, but I'm just totally boggled by it. I have no understanding of it. People tell me to say positive affirmations and think this and write this down and do this, and I'm supposed to be able to manifest all this money, and why is this working so well, excuse me, just adjusting my screen, for so many other people but not working well for me, etc. And why is manifestation possible for others and not possible for me? And I really want to today discuss and also really highlight that manifestation is a reality. It is a law of the universe, and it is something that everyone has the capacity to connect to. But no, it is not just a matter of sitting and thinking of something positive. Not always. It can be that simple, but mostly we need to do groundwork in order to align our energetics for manifestation. And we need to have tools in place to manifest effectively in a way that suits us as an individual. So we are all uniquely designed. We are not cut from the same cloth. So it would be ridiculous to think that we could all follow the same manifestation techniques and systems and it work freely. And this is, I guess, where my system of manifestation, and I'm sure many other systems with beautiful teachers and guides all around the globe, is different to a lot of the mainstream, where we're told to think something positive and then it's going to happen, right? Let's get really real with what is involved with manifestation. So when we come into this word, the energetics, everything is energy, And our success relates to energy directly. And our success is going to always rely on 70% energy, 30% strategy, or maybe 80% energy, 20% strategy, depending on the person, depending on the energy, and depending on what we're dealing with or what we're manifesting. So our energy is the primary force when it comes to bringing anything forward into our life. Our energy decides what happens to us and what happens for us and with us and through us in our everyday. So if we are vibrating at a certain frequency of energy, we are able to attract certain frequencies back to us. And this is what's really important about manifestation. When we do not have a high enough frequency and we do not have the energetic alignment to be the receiver of what we're calling in, we do not have a high enough frequency to match the vibration of what we want to bring to us, then it is like throwing spaghetti at the wall. It is like pushing crap uphill. You're not going to get anywhere, because you're not a vibrational match for what you're trying to connect to. The law of karma states we can only give what we receive and receive what we give. The law of vibration means we get back what vibration we put out. All right. So there needs to be equality when it comes to manifestation. So if I want to manifest $1 million, let's just make it simple. And I'm saying I want to manifest $1 million and talking about manifesting $1 million. But inside, my emotional body is saying, well, that's not going to happen. That's ridiculous. You're not going to be able to do that. How are you going to do that? You don't have enough clients. You don't have enough money. Your salary is not high enough. There's no way. It's not possible. It's not possible for you. If that's the story that's in my emotional energetics, then that is the message that is going out. So that is, hopefully you can't hear my dog barking. That is exactly what is going to come back to you. It's not going to be in alignment with the things you're saying and the affirmations that you're chanting, because your vibrational imprint that is radiating from you at that time is saying something very different. And this is how many, many people are manifesting. And this is why it's not working. Because to manifest effectively, we must, my dog is howling, he's agreeing with us. To manifest effectively, we must not only be able to see this vision of what we want to call in, and maybe have dialogue that relates to it, or context, or affirmations, or sentences, or thought patterns, but we also need to have the emotional energetics, the feelings inside, the emotional awareness that this is in fact a reality. This is, in fact, a reality for us now. We can have this. We are capable of it. It is happening, and we believe it in every single cell of our body. So if I'm trying to manifest that $1 million and every single part of me is, I totally can do this. Of course I can have $1 million. Why wouldn't I be able to do that? I know I'm going to have that $1 million. You know why? Because I can feel it in every cell of my body. I know I'm having that $1 million and it's coming to me. Then my manifestations are going to be much more effective because I'm seeing it and I'm feeling it. All right. $1 million is just an example, because for me, manifestation is not about amounts of money. I don't roll that way. That, however, it can be, you know, I'm not saying that sometimes I don't want to manifest a certain amount of money and I don't put energy into it. When I do, it happens because I'm clear on the amount of money that I want to manifest. All right, so let's get into what this means a little bit on an energetic perspective. So let's say that is the scenario. We have a vision of what we want to manifest. Let's say now we want to manifest a new relationship with a beautiful human being, an intimate relationship. We have the vision of that and we can play around with that, but we don't really see it clearly, or we've got all of these limitations on it, or we've got, oh yeah, you know, this happened before, and remember that traumatic relationship I had in the past, or, oh yeah, I'm not actually good enough to have all of those things. So when we see it in a clouded way, and we see it in a way that we're actually, fueling little bits of limitation and resistance and even negative energy, a lot of negative energy into it. So then maybe what we manifest in that relationship is actually not ideal, because we haven't had that full sense of vision, or that sense of clarity, or what I like to call coherence about what the vision is. And then when we've come into the feeling of it, maybe the feeling of it, the emotional body is just telling you it's impossible. You can't do that. You can't have that. You're not good enough for that. That person doesn't exist. All of this stuff that we tell ourselves, which is story that is not true. Maybe we're stuck in that. So then when we manifest, what we're really truly saying to the universe is, I don't really believe I can have anyone that good. So, just send me anything. I'll just settle. I don't really believe I'm worthy of something all that great. So, but I don't want to be lonely. And then the next thing, a relationship arrives in our life that is not ideal, that is challenging, difficult, not perfect. Well, there's no such thing as perfect. Get that word out of it. But not ideal, not aligned, not healthy. There's trouble, there's drama, there's volatility, there's emotional dependency, and so many other things. We have in fact manifested that, because the message that we've sent out is very clearly saying that that's what we believe we're worthy of. So to change the energy, we need to get ourselves energetically into a place where we believe we are worthy of what we are truly wanting to call in. So what if that relationship is just ideal? It's a soulmate partner, and you have the same intentions, you have your unique imprints, you love being together, you're creative together, your intimacy is fabulous, you're highly energized by each other, and it is literally the ideal aligned relationship for you. They look a certain way, they carry themselves a certain way, like they are such a high frequency, and when you feel into them, you get excited, you want it, you know it's for you, you feel it in every cell, you know you're worthy of it, because you're amazing, you're spectacular, you are all of the things, and you know it in every cell of your body. You know that relationship is there for you, you know you're aligned for it, you know you can have it, you believe you're worthy of it. Then it is going to come to you, because you have changed your energy into a place that is actually radiating frequency that is a vibrational match for what you want to bring back to you. You believe it to be true, so therefore it will be. With manifestation, it's not about thinking something and bringing it to you. It is about being it now, living it now, feeling it now, embodying it now. And that's where it gets tricky for some people, because it means we've got to project ourselves into the place where it is already happening. All right. So we are projecting ourselves into the quantum. Okay. In the quantum, it is already happening. Your highest self is already experiencing this. And we have to practice, if we want to manifest successfully, how to live in the vibrational frequency now. If we want the ideal relationship, we need to embody the energetics of that ideal relationship now. We need to feel it, see it, imagine it, sense it, create it, live it, know it, and feel it in every cell of our body in order to be able to bring it to us. If we want to embody freedom, we need to embody freedom now. Not, oh, I will embody freedom when I have this, or when I have that, or when I have enough money, or when I do, because all we're doing then is pushing it away, because we're not accepting ourselves as we are right now in the moment, and we are not practicing creating the frequency of freedom already. To have freedom, we need to create freedom. So it's really challenging for some people, because if I say, let's look at financial freedom, and we have this offer that comes to us and we feel so soul aligned to do it, say it's mastermind, say it's my soul ascension mastermind, You want to jump into that soul ascension mastermind, you know, with every cell of your body, it's your next level of expansion. You're going to grow from it. You're going to expand. You're going to heal your trauma. You're going to shift your stories. You're going to be in a group of like-minded women who are going to energize you massively. You are going to make quantum leaps, and you're shifting. You know, every cell of your body is aligned for it, but then that emotional thread says, I can't afford it. It's too expensive. If you go with that, then that is going to stay your story forever. Your story will be, it's too expensive, I can't afford it. Whereas when you take the leap, embody the financial freedom, and this is stepping into the universe will provide for you when you say yes to what is aligned for you. So if you step into the financial freedom, I'm doing that because I know with every cell of my body that's right for me, and that's my next step. We need to trust that the universe is going to co-collaborate with you to make the funds available. And I live this, and I've lived this for all of my life. I've built myself from nothing into an amazing, sustained, powerful, potent business woman and business leader and community leader and author and professional holistic health therapist, soul guide, and coach that attracts whatever I want into my life, because I have always grabbed the opportunity, said yes to it, and then, I guess, allowed and trusted and surrendered that the universe is going to co-collaborate with me to make that happen. When I say yes to what's soul aligned, the money will be there. And this is a big step for many people, because we are choosing the scarcity and lack mentality and staying stuck in the fear. And so we are then in turn manifesting more of that. We're manifesting more of the same story over and over again, because the actual belief system is saying, no, can't afford it. I don't have enough money. I'm going to stay stuck in the energy of scarcity and lack. I'm not going to say yes to my soul. When we say yes to our soul, we open up these loops of potential so the universe can work with us. The universe wants what you want. You are supported by the universe in every single action. That's how manifestation works, is trusting that if you align yourself emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually to your intentions, then the universe is going to co-collaborate with you in the way that you are designed to co-collaborate together. If we say no, scarcity and lack, that chamber of, oh yeah, but I can't, it's too hard, I don't have enough, it's not, I can't afford it, it's not for me now, all of the other things that we go into, well, that is where you're going to stay. And that is what the universe is going to keep sending to you time and time again. So this is an energetic problem. It is an energetic discrepancy. You are not listening to your soul's true calling. You're allowing collective energy, fear, scarcity, and lack to infiltrate the field. And that is messing with your manifestation process, right? So how do we change the energy? All right. So first, we've got to acknowledge we need to change the energy. So being in the role that I'm in as a very, very transformative coach and very empowered leader, and I speak to lots of people who, you know, they want it and they're ready and they're in and they see what I do and they're magnetically attracted to what I do and they're just a hell yeah. And they just say yes because their soul is so clear that it has to happen. And this is, I'm talking about people who sometimes who don't know when their next paycheck is coming in. They're living week by week. They're students, you know, they just say yes. And this happens in my industry all the time when people are just a soulmate, ideal client, magnetic match. They are listening so strongly to their soul's connection and they're manifesting so intentionally that they trust the universe will align with them if they are feeling it happening, seeing it happening, and knowing it's going to happen. And you'd be amazed at how effortlessly they flow through their payments, for example, or they flow through the process or whatever it is, because they know with every cell of their body that it's happening for them. Excuse me. And then the opposite of that is where people are really hearing that soul's calling, but they're allowing their emotional energetics to infiltrate their soul decisions. So the soul decision is really clear. It always is. It says, yes, this is for you. It's time. Let's do this. And then the trauma or the, excuse me, water needed, limitations or the resistance or the fear or the old paradigms or behaviors or distractions or stories or influences from external parties, that gets in the picture. And when that gets in the picture, we say yes to that instead. And when we say yes to that instead, we are immediately disempowered. We are immediately bringing the vibration down, and we are immediately attaching and connecting to these low vibrational frequencies, which do not have the capacity to bring anything of a high vibration back to us. So how do we change this? We need to change the energetics. So when we're talking about the energetics for manifestation, we need to be a vibrational match to manifest what we want to bring in. If we want to align ourselves energetically to manifest what we're calling in, then we need to transform any behaviors from the mental and the emotional realms. In Sanskrit, we call this the Manomaya Kosha, this realm where kosha means sheath or layer, this realm in which where the emotions and the feelings and the thoughts lie. If there is trauma there, or, some people don't like the word trauma, but I think, that's a personal thing because it is trauma, right? So just maybe we need to get over ourselves a little bit. Trauma is something that happens that actually affects us negatively. It is an experience or set of experiences that affects us negatively and stops the energy flowing in a certain place, or creates imbalances in how that energy flows. And so when trauma happens, or old paradigms or lineage or ancestral stuff, when that happens and it blocks the Manomaya Kosha or it de-energizes it in some way, then the energetics there need some attention. So if we can have this vision of what we want to manifest, or not even a vision, we might be able to write it down, or we might be able to do some work with a coach or journal about, what we would really like to have. And then we feel this strong emotional or mental voice, or maybe both, mental body, emotional body voice, that says all of these reasons why it's not possible, it's too hard, I can't have that, and loads of negative frequencies come in. Then that's where we need to go to do some work to release, to heal, and to bring light into that particular space. So where a lot of people go wrong is they will start, reading more self-help books, or going to more workshops, or paying thousands of dollars for more coaches, and, doing more mindset stuff and all of these things, but they're not changing the energy. They're not changing the emotional trauma. They're not releasing the energy. They're not doing any work in that realm of any kind. So then that emotional story stays the same, or that mental story stays the same, or that Manomaya Kosha layer stays the same. So whatever work you're doing makes no difference because you haven't addressed the emotional part. So the emotional story is often impacted by trauma. So then what do? We do the work in order to change that emotional story. We do the work in order to shift any blockage in the emotional field so that we can get that emotional space up to par with our mental vision or spiritual insights about what is actually next for us. All right. So in terms of that, let's look at a couple of other examples. If we want to manifest a really successful business, all right, so we know what we want to do. And sometimes we're not at that point. That's another thing I can help you with. But let's say we know what we want to do. We can see it. We can see it really clearly. We know what our journey is. We have this very clear vision of what our business is going to be. And we really, 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 really want it. And we see it. And we can visualize it. We can write about it. We can do affirmations about it. We can, really connect to it on a mental level. We might even be able to visually see it. But in an emotional sense, there is a lack of belief around your capacity to have it. There is a lack of worthiness to being deserving of it. There are stories floating around that have been created by others in your life or by your paradigms, behaviors, lineage, ancestry, mom, dad, etc., and created and enforced by your own belief system. So that emotional layer is actually not on board with this being a reality for you. So it's almost like if we need to have the vision, we can manifest it, and we need to see that in some way. And it's not always visual. It can be something different, which we'll talk about in a moment. But if you can see it, say it, know it, actually connect to it in some way, that's the first step. Then we also need to be able to feel it as if it's already happening. So we need to be able to create the feeling of it. The way that we can do that is imagine that happening and feel how we would feel were it to be true. Or we can create feelings of gratitude or love or really high frequency feelings in our body and apply them to visualizations which focus on this new goal or intention that we have for the business. However, if we are not doing any of that and we're feeling negative and like it's a no, then that is where we need to change it. So the work that we then need to do is going into the emotional layer. How do we heal emotionally? Well, there is a number of ways. My favorite ways. Emotion, the word, comes from the Latin emovere, which means to move out. When emotions are not moving, they're not flowing, they're not moving out, they're not continuously shifting, it means they're staying stuck, so they're getting impacted. When they get impacted, they create a blockage in the energy flow in the 72,000 energy channels that we have in our body. When those 72,000 energy channels are not flowing freely, we have blockages and imbalances, so there is a lack of energy flowing where it needs to flow, which leads to an impaction, a blockage, a stagnation. And that is when the emotional body gets blocked, it stops flowing. And that area is where we need to go to release whatever is emotional blockage and dissolve it so that it becomes able to move out. Think of it like this: emotional blockage gets stagnant and stuck and becomes hard and blocks the energy channels. And then the energy that's required to flow so that you can manifest what you want to manifest is not actually flowing. And we keep coming back into this spiral of, despair or lack of belief or lack of clarity or whatever it is. We keep going back there time and time again because we're not doing the work that we need to do to actually heal the emotional part. So to do this, we need to unblock it. So my favorite methods are energy healing. Things like Reiki, pranic healing, guided healing, angelic healing. Oh my gosh, the list is endless. Kinesiology, Bowen therapy, Pilawa treatment. It is just endless, and I'm not going to go into all of them, but energy healing is what is required for us to move that energy. Other things that we do to move energy would be chanting, mantra, sound therapy, movement, dance, somatic practices, meditation. The list goes on. But there needs to be something that is happening that is focusing specifically on where those emotional blocks are. Because if we do not shift the frequency that is associated with the density in that area, then your manifestations are going to be lacking in success. They are going to be sporadic. They're going to be challenging. And sometimes they're just going to be non-existent, because remember, what you put out is what you get back. So when we're only partially putting out towards that actual manifestation, then the universe is confused. The universe needs clarity from you of what you want. And the universe responds to you feeling it happening and knowing you're capable of it and embodying it now. And the universe then goes, okay, we can match that. All right, that person knows they're capable of this. They see it and they feel it. So we can match that. So let's co-collaborate together and make that happen. And this is where the trust in the universe becomes a very big thing. Now, trust is a human pillar of existence. In my mastermind, I work with the pillars of existence. The pillars of existence are human concepts that if we can embody and understand, life can be really easeful. And trust is one of those. Trust is one of the hardest, actually. Trust is really challenging for people, because to say we need to trust, a lot of people in the West have learned that that means you need to trust someone else. And that's actually completely a misconception. Trust is not about trusting another person. We need to be self-sufficient in our ability to trust. So trust means we need to trust ourselves and we need to trust the universe in equal actions. We trust the universe and we trust ourselves equally. We know that if we fully trust ourselves, we can fully trust the universe. We know that if we fully trust the universe, then we can fully trust ourselves, because it is a co-collaboration. And when we manifest, we need to trust that if we feel it happening, see it happening, and can connect to it happening, then it will happen. And when trust is wavering, that also affects your manifestation, because if you don't trust that your manifestation is going to come true, then it won't. Now, I'm not saying there's not going to be interference and discrepancies and moments of, how can I really have this? That's going to happen. You're human. We're all human, and that happens. But then how we counteract that is important. If we feel those loops of energy that de-energizes and bring us down into old fears or paradigms or stories or behaviors that are more negative or dense, we need to have something in place that brings us back into a higher frequency. We need to then go and do some meditation, go and do some chanting, go and shake it off in the garden, go and walk in nature. And this can be a real challenging thing for people to actually understand. We change our energy by increasing our frequency of vibration. We increase our frequency of vibration by doing things that bring more light into our bodies. They bring us into a higher caliber. They bring us into a higher calibration. They bring us into a higher resonance of frequency, because we are all operating on frequency. We're like tuning into different frequencies. We can have abundance if we tune into it and match our frequency to it. We can have the perfect partner if we tune into it and manifest at the same frequency of it. We can have love if we tune into the frequency of love. We can have freedom if we tune into the frequency of freedom. It's like tuning your radio in. You can't get the radio channel FM4 if you don't tune into FM4. And it's the same with all of these frequencies that exist in human laws and in human behaviors. If we tune into them, we can resonate at the same frequency of them. But if we don't tune into them, then how can we expect that to happen? So I want you to awaken to what your energy and your emotions are saying and doing. Because if you keep doing manifestations and doing this workshop and this training and doing all of these things and working with manifestation coaches who are just working on mindset and doing, this change your mindset and blah, 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 it's not going to work for you if you're not changing your emotional energy as well. Okay, so hopefully this is all making sense and landing. When we're looking at emotional regulation, we need systems, we need tools. So everyone is very unique. If we are able to be at the point where we can actually acknowledge where our emotional blockages and imbalances are and where we're being let down in the energetics emotionally, then we can really tune into working with that. So some of us will be really affected in the emotional energetics by grief. And this is something that is huge, and I see it all the time. I even see coaches and trainers using grief as a means to connect to their clients. And this is a low density energy. It's a frequency that is not going to be met with anything that is high frequency. Grief is part of human life, but we need to work on our grief, and we need to have a sacred, intentional way of working with our grief and not using it as a catalyst to bring people to us unless we have put and aligned a high frequency into it. So yes, we can connect people through grief if we've experienced it, and we want to support people because we are an energetic match for that. But if we're keeping the vibration of grief low and then we're trying to connect people with people through that, then it's going to stay low. Same as if we have the energy of fear or anger or scarcity or lack. These are emotional imprints. If we operate from those, we're gonna attract that back to us every time. And no, that's not going to be positive, because we need to shift the frequency into something that is higher, so that when we are attracting, connecting, and bringing things back, we're doing it from a space that is higher frequency, more empowered, and more alive. So let's look at manifestation in terms of the energetics. Again, really simplifying. I hope you're all taking notes. To align ourselves to manifest successfully, to align our energetics for that, we need to get our emotional body on board, physical body on board, mental body on board, to connect to the soul's journey. The soul already knows what is for you and what your highest potential is, including, and what your highest potential looks like, what your highest self desires, and what your highest self is here to do from a dharmic, from a service perspective. As humans, we need to align our physical, mental, emotional bodies in order to also really conceptualize that. So when we want to align ourselves to manifestation energetically, we must get ourselves into a place where we can change the emotional state to match the frequency of that we want to bring back to us. We must get ourselves into a space where the mental body is able to speak, say, affirm, visualize what it looks like to connect to that you're calling back to you. And we need to physically live the life that matches it. All right. So if we are, manifesting this really, healthy, happy, strong, physically strong, healthy body, then we need to physically be doing the things that make that happen, like eating well, exercising and moving, etc. And we also need to be emotionally healing any trauma that is there around that disturbance. So we might be emotionally eating or not exercising in a kind of way that is very linked into the emotional trauma that we're holding. And we need to increase all of those things so that we are a vibrational match for that healthy body, right? So when we want to align ourselves energetically to manifest successfully, it is really key and really important to do the work in the emotional framework to become the vibrational match for that which we are calling in. Okay, so let's look at it like this. I want to manifest the business of my dreams. The business of my dreams is, and this is hypothetical because I do have the business of my dreams, but the business of my dreams is, let's say, let's talk hypothetically. I want to own a service for human beings where they can go and have an amazing retreat in this incredible retreat center in this beautiful, beautiful, stunning location. And I want to own that. And I really want it to be a certain way. I want to get so clear visually and even writing of what that looks like and every single detail. This is the mental body part infused with the insightful part and the spiritual part. I want to be so clear what it looks like. Where is it? What does it look like? What does it include? How is it decorated? Who is coming? Who are my ideal clients? What do they look like? What lives do they live? What benefits do they get from attending? Where is it situated in the world? Is there more than one? What is the practice there? What do we do? What are the activities? How does it look? And every single detail possible. And we can do this depending on our personality type by writing, by creating in your mind, by meditating, by visualizing, so many different ways, by dancing, whatever we do. But it needs to be crystal clear. And this is where we apply this human pillar of existence, which is the first layer, which is coherence. We get very coherent about what our vision is. This is the first step of manifestation. We cannot manifest if we do not know what it is we want to manifest. So yes, it needs to be crystal. If you are not clear on that, you need to work on that first. You need to use a coach, have a guide, speak to people, do your work to get completely coherent on what it is you want to manifest. Not wavering in and out, not changing, not shifting, not unsure, not putting any negative energy into it. It needs to be crystal clear. Coherence is the first step. Once you have that, there needs to be regular tools in place to reinforce that. So we need to be daily visualizing that, or making vision boards, daily affirming in your journal, daily writing, daily storytelling, daily blogging, whatever it is, but it needs to be a constant dedication and devotion to that energy so that you're putting energy into it. Attention goes where energy flows. Energy flows where attention goes. So that piece needs to be really reinforced. Then the next part is the emotional part. So then we need to work on the feelings that are associated with this being reality. So for this to be reality, you need to be able to feel it as if it's already happening. You need to embody now that this is your reality. And that can be hard to do. Yes, but we need to work on that if it is our challenge. So we need to create feelings in us as if that was our reality now. We can do this by imagining it and feeling the feelings consciously, spending time creating the feelings, imagining how we would feel if we had it, and then bringing those feelings into the body. For some, that's quite easy to do for imagination. For others, we might use past experiences where we've felt really, really content or really excited or really joyful or full of gratitude or so happy. And we might imagine bringing those feelings back and then capture those feelings and practice capturing those feelings and then aligning those feelings to that vision. We want to feel good, energized, and high frequency when we are manifesting. So we're able to align those high quality feelings, those high energized feelings to that vision. When we can bring those two things together, we can embody that it is happening now. When we can embody that it is already happening now in the quantum, even if it's not right there yet, but we can be with the knowing that it is happening, we are worthy of it, it is our reality, then we are able to manifest it. All right. So if we can bring those two things together, we can sit in the power of manifestation and it will be successful. The state that we need to be in to create the feeling is a meditative state. We need to be in a state of conscious awareness, of what I call conscious sleep. We're hovering between the place of being asleep and being awake. We're in a meditative state. So we need to do what we need to do to get into that state when we're creating the feelings in the body. You can chant mantra, that works really well, and I can help with that. Reach out to me to give you the ideal mantra. You can use breath work because that changes the state of your being so you can enter into conscious sleep. You can also call this state of hypnosis, state of gnosis, state of being in that place of deep meditative awareness where you are in this unlimited field of potential, but you must enter that state to manifest, otherwise you are going to struggle. Another way to do this is to do it just as you're about to fall asleep, because that's the state that we're in when we are in that conscious sleep state. Even just as you wake up sometimes when you're really sleepy, even lying down, taking deep breaths and rolling your eyes back to look up towards your third eye and closing the eyes, that can really help us to come into that very responsive brainwave state where we are able to enter this meditative state that is important, that is necessary for us to be able to become energetically a receiver for the manifestations we are going for. Now, there should be a link coming up across the bottom of this screen to show you how you can enter my mastermind. Now, my mastermind is a 7-month journey that will really help you and amplify your energetics and bring you into a state of conscious empowerment and conscious mastery of your energetics so you can become the powerful manifester that you are designed to be. So hopefully that's dropped in the comments below. I can't see it, which is not normal. I normally can see it, but hopefully Sylvia's on the other end and she's going to drop that on soon so that you can connect with me and join me in my mastermind so that we can actually actively work on getting you into a space of harmony with your energetics so that you can become the powerful manifester that you are determined and destined to be. Matching your emotional energy is not always the easy part because some of us will have more work to do than others. Some of us will have more emotional impact, more emotional stories, more traumas, more detrimental attributes than others. Others, it will be easier to switch and heal those areas, and some of us will have harder work to do, especially when the paradigms have been ingrained over lifetimes. So when we have that challenge, and it is a little bit harder, we need to be bringing in the right team. We need to have people around us, really great energy healers, really powerful energetic practitioners. I work with that energy. You can hit me up. You can find someone locally if you prefer to work with someone hands-on. But energy healing can be done across time and space and be so powerful. But we need to address what is blocking the energy field and spend some time doing that. We can do that through learning techniques that involve breath work, pranayama, meditation, yoga, qigong, coaching, and energy healing and energetic mastery that comes from so many different realms. But we've got to be ready to face it, because without that, with that trauma, with that blockage, with that imbalance that sits there, if that's there, it's going to block our manifestations from being successful. So when you want to manifest, the vision is clear. You are coherent about what it is. You write it down, you see it, you create it, you feel it so that it is so crystal clear and coherent. If it's challenging to do that, perhaps you need to come back to the energetics and the emotional regulation and the emotional healing around it. If we can get that really clear, that next step is to be able to feel it happening. You need to be able to live it now. If you want to embody, manifest abundance, you need to be able to embody, manifest abundance now. So if you want to embody money, you need to be able to embody the frequency of money. If you want to be able to embody freedom, you need to be able to embody freedom now. To manifest any of these things, you are creating the feeling as if it is already happening and you are living it every day. So this is where we have to take a leap of faith. We've got to say yes to things that are soul aligned. We've got to step in when we feel that soul calling. That's what we call inspired action. When we feel it's a yes, we step in onto that yes, the universe will provide. Then we are going to lift the frequency of vibration. Things are all going to start to fall into place. Whereas if we keep saying no and we keep staying stuck and in that energy of scarcity and lack, we are going to keep attracting more and more and more of that into our lives. So I want you to really look at your energetics and see if you are aligned to manifest. If there is work to be done, do the work, step into it, address it. Okay, I'm emotionally blocked. I've got so much trauma here. How can I possibly manifest those things I want when I have these belief systems in place that are really locking my emotional energetics into fear, scarcity, lack, all of those things? I'm going to work here and I'm going to spend some time doing this so I can lift the vibration in that space to be an energetic match for what I actually want to call in. If you are inspired to talk to me more, please message me. Please get in touch. You can work with me one-on-one, or you can step into my mastermind, which is beginning in February, enrolling now, or you can step into one of my other signature programs. You can elevate your success and amplify your healing journey and step into this amazing, soulful, really empowered version of yourselves when you do the work, and I'm here to facilitate you to do that. My journey here is to make it easier for you to manifest. When you heal what is blocking your manifestation, it is a no-brainer that you can become powerfully magnetic to the energies that you want to call in. But without that little bit of work in that emotional realm, it's going to be like pushing crap uphill. You're not going to get anywhere. I have been Kaya Slater, and it has been An absolute pleasure to be back here again on the Infinite Wealth Forum. If you want to connect with me, please do, as I would love to hear from you. And I would love to help you manifest in a successful, powerful way, such as the way that I do. Namaste, beautiful humans. Thank you so much.